I'm not trying to judge, but what kind of parents did this child have? What was he taught? He brought a knife to a track meet, and he murdered my son by stabbing him in the heart. The guy was in the wrong place. They asked him to move, and he bowed up. This is murder. I don't know. I know they have someone in custody.
Yeah, we do.
And you know what? I already forgive this person.
Already?
Already. God takes care of things. God's going to take care of me. God's going to take care of my family.
What's going on, guys? Hey, I'm going to come back to you. And I wanted to bring you a story. It's Texas. About a track and field event for high school. For numerous high schools. And apparently they had tents set up for each high school. And at this one tent sat two brothers, and they were athletes for the high school. And a young black man from a different high school came over, and I don't know if he said something under his breath or whatever, but he sat down, and they said to him, "Hey, look, man, do you mind moving? Because this is not your a place to sit. It's ours. It's our high school. And you're sitting in the one brother's seat. Please move." And with that, the young black man took a knife out and stabbed one of the young white men in the chest, killing him, stabbing him in the heart. Guys, I mean, we really got to be asked about this. What is wrong with young black men? They feel, they got to go completely nuts over feeling disrespected or whatever. They think it's okay. They think what they're doing is fine. When did things get this bad? And again, people say, well, you can't say that about black people. Yeah, I can. It's the truth. It's the truth. I mean, black people represent, 13% thereabouts of the U.S. population, yet they commit 55% of all violent crime. And majority of that is done by young black men. They're wildly disproportionate in their propensity to commit violence. I mean, 12 times, you're 12 times more likely to be attacked if you're white, to be attacked by a black person, than if you're black, to be attacked by a white person. But again, they always say, "Oh, white supremacy is the biggest threat to this country." No, it's not. No, it's not. Not even close. Not even close. No, again, if you're white, you are almost 30 times almost more likely to be murdered by a black person than if you're black to be murdered by a white person. 30 times almost. I mean, again, these numbers are insane. But guys, I want to show you a little bit more of what happened, so you guys can have the details. Watch.
Heather, 17-year-old Austin Metcalf had a bright future ahead of him. He was a leader on the football field and a scholar in the classroom. His dad told me he's holding on to memories and leaning deep on his faith as he tries to wrap his mind around this senseless tragedy. Wednesday morning, Austin Metcalf was at a District 11 5A track meet at Kirkendall Stadium. Around 10 a.m., Frisco police say 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony stabbed Metcalf in the chest after some sort of fight. Jeff Metcalf says it was Austin's twin brother, Hunter Metcalf, who tried to save him.
And his brother was holding him, trying to hold the blood in, and he passed. My son watched his brother die in his arms.
It's unclear how Anthony got the knife into the meat or what exactly led up to.
That's what the local news had to say about this. And again, you could tell they're bothered by this. However, it would be much different, much more coverage. It'd be coast to coast, riots breaking out, buildings being burned down. Yeah. If Austin but were black, and the kid that stabbed him to death was white. But again, the thing is, we are used to it this way. Again, white kids, they typically don't stab black kids to death. They typically don't stab anyone to death or shoot anyone or whatever. I mean, again, you have small cases, numbers of cases, but not to any big degree. And we are used to hear about this kind of stuff. We are used to again, the black violence in this country. And yeah, I'm not talking about all black people, but I am saying that there is a big problem in this country, in the Western world. Oh, but we're used to it. If it were the other way around, oh my God, you would see this country up in flames. Well, I'm here to say that white lives do matter. They do matter. I got 2 teenage sons. And yes, they're both white. And they matter. Everyone matters. And again, man, we have got to start pointing out this bullshit. Because it is, man. It's nothing but bullshit. But I'm going to show you kind of a compilation of them talking about what happened. And I agree with this First Lady when she says that why would you bring a knife to a track and field event, to a meet? Why would you bring a knife? Again, it's, at least to me, that right there is premeditation right there. Again, you have a knife with you, and then you go over to another high school tent, sit down, and again, when a problem happens, which it's going to, you stab somebody to death. Watch.
He brought a knife to the track meet. Nah, you can miss me with all the comments talking about, oh, well, something that was said must have caused him to be outraged. What was said in the argument? No. You brought a knife to a track meet and you sat in your opponent's section. You don't do that unless you're looking for a problem, if you're not looking for an issue, if you're not looking for controversy. If you don't know what I'm talking about, a 17-year-old track runner from Texas, Austin Metcalf, was brutally unalived at a track meet and passed away in his twin brother's arms when he was attacked by 17-year-old Carmelo Anthony. Carmelo sat in the section for the Memorial High track runners and was mouthing off behind them. And when Austin turned around to ask, "Who are you? What are you even doing here?" he said his name was Mello and he wanted to sit there. And that's when Austin said, "Well, you're in the wrong section," because he was bothering his teammates because he was in fact in the wrong section.
They made him go away when they were doing CPR on him, but he was there when he was stabbed and he was holding, I guess, the wound to keep it from... He was trying to save his brother, but I think he said he saw when he took his last breath and before the CPR came back in. So for what I heard, he was unresponsive for 5 minutes. They were able to revive him a little, but I think it was too little too late.
There was this kid, before I knew his name now, this kid was sitting under our tent at track. We asked him to move. He started getting aggressive and talking reckless, and my brother stepped in and said, "You need to move." And he's like, "Make me move." Austin grabbed his backpack. This kid, I tried to whip around as fast as I could, but I didn't see the stab. But then I look at my brother, and then I'm not going to talk about the rest. So
Yeah.
that's just what I saw, and I try to help him, but
The father of the young man that stabbed Austin is saying that Austin was the aggressor. I'm going to read it to you in a second. But I wanted to kind of play an update for the news that kind of leads up to it. Watch.
We have new information from the deadly stabbing at a high school track meet.
Since 5 o'clock, Frisco police released the arrest report that details the moment officers arrived at the scene. The arresting officer writes when he reported he had an alleged suspect. The officer said Carmelo Anthony said he did it. According to the arrest report, the tragic event began with the suspect sitting under another team's tent as rain fell and being told to move. A witness told police Anthony immediately opened his bag and reached in, telling the victim, "Touch me and see what happens." When the victim pushed him, witnesses say Anthony pulled a knife from the bag and stabbed Austin Metcalf in the chest. The murder suspect reportedly asked police on the scene if what happened could be considered self-defense and asking if the victim was going to be okay. Maria Guerrero takes a closer look at the case and the grief in Collin County.
Facing 5 to 99 years in prison if convicted, Carmelo Anthony no longer appearing as emotional as he did after being arrested in the stabbing death of 17-year-old Austin Metcalf.
They were twins, identical twins, and his brother was holding on to him, trying to make it stop bleeding, and he died in his brother's arms.
The horrifying scene playing out Wednesday morning during a district track meet with over 100 student athletes participating. Frisco police say Anthony, a Centennial High School student, stabbed Metcalf, a Memorial High School student, during a fight. The victim's family says Anthony was told he was sitting in the wrong spot and that the teens did not know each other.
And here we go, guys, man. Here we go again. Father of a track meet murder suspect claims son was not the one who started it. He's a good kid, insisted the father of Carmelo Anthony, 17, who had been charged with the murder of Austin Metcalf, also 17. I mean, again, I'm not going to read all this, guys, but you get the gist. I mean, all the damn time. Okay, let me read this. The father of the teenager accused of stabbing a footballer from a rival school at the track event has defended his son, claiming he is a good kid. Austin, 17, died following an altercation at a high school meet at Frisco Independent School District at the athletic stadium in Austin, Texas. Police said Despite a desperate attempt to save his life, Austin died in his twin brother's arms. Carmelo Anthony, a student of Frisco Memorial High School, I don't think that's right. I think he went to Centennial. I think Memorial is where Austin went. Anyways, charged for first-degree murder in connection to the killing, and is being held in police custody awaiting bond. His father, Andrew Anthony, told the New York Post that his son did not provoke the incident, insisting he was not the aggressor. He was not the one who started it. Wow. Again, guys, man, you can't make this stuff up. You know what, guys, man, we gotta be honest. We have got to be real. They're not raising good kids. And again, I'm not talking about all black people, but again, who is doing the raising of these black boys that they're killing and hurting people and stealing or whatever? Black women, single black mothers, and again, you can say all poor single black mothers. No, again, not all, but a lot bring it on themselves. They really do. They're nasty. They have that nasty attitude. They're just, again, they believe the way to deal with life is to fight, to be angry, to be better. And again, the sons, they watch that. They emulate that. You know, again, the role of a father is to bring clarity to kids. You know, again, not so emotional, kind of calm down, think something through. And again, you can tell a lot of young black men, they don't have that. They don't have that. And again, they deal with everything emotionally and by the seat of their pants. And again, when you deal with life that way, it has nothing to do with systemic racism. It has to do with, again, the lack of parenting. Again, the mothers that raise them are bitter, angry, nasty women. And what are we doing in America because we feel so bad for slavery or Jim Crow or whatever? We're giving them DI. We're propping them up and putting them in positions where, again, they could do some real damage. And they are. And, you know, again, we have got to rethink our values in this country. We do. But guys, man, right before I go, I'm getting ready to stop the video, but I wanted to bring a tweet, you a tweet from Matt Walsh from the Daily Wire. And again, it's kind of a controversial tweet about this, but again, I find it honest. I mean, really honest. Watch. All right, guys, I wanted to read to you real quick what Matt Walsh had to say. He said, he tweeted yesterday, if I told you that a young man stabbed another young man to death for telling him that he was on the wrong seat, and then I told you one young man in the altercation was white and the other was black, and then I asked you to guess the race of the assailant, every single person would know the answer immediately. Young black males are violent to a wildly, outrageously disproportionate degree. And that's just a fact. and we all know it. And it's time that we speak honestly about it, or nothing will ever change. And again, he's 100% correct. 100%. I mean, people have got to be willing to speak up, to say something. And again, we got to be honest about this stuff. We have got to be honest about this. And, I can't tell you, just again, with my little YouTube channel in the past couple of years, how many people I've lost that, again, no longer talk to me or have very little to do with me. And again, it's not that I've changed. It's not that I'm different. I'm still am who I am. It's just that, I've become more vocal and saying what I need to say. And again, you can say whatever. You can lie to yourself. You can lie to others and tell them what they want to hear. And as soon as you open your mouth and you say the truth, you're going to lose them. But just remember one thing. They were never your friends to begin with. And that's one thing I had to really take stock of. They weren't my friends. They didn't like me. They didn't care one thing about me. And again, I couldn't even speak openly and honestly in front of them. Because when I did, as soon as I did, they were gone. They left. They were gone. So again, don't worry about the ones that leave when you're being honest. Don't worry about them. Actually, be grateful. Be grateful to see that. Because who they really are, is now exposed. And again, you know who's true and who's not. And again, very little will probably be true. But the ones that are, you know what you got. Guys, man, if you would, please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below.
You son of a